Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever day you might be watching us from wherever. My name's Joe in Norway. I'll be your cook this evening. This is the After Hours show with the Autonomous Collective, and I'm joined by Ann Lee, a retired college professor and a community member at the Daily Coast. They're a member of the National Council of Independent Scholars and is a contributor to the book, The Political Economy of Art, Making the Nation of Culture. Evening, Ann. Oh, did we lose
No. What?
somebody's screen? Are we sharing? Okay. All in order?
We're good. It looks good.
Cool.
Looks
Cool.
fine. What's for supper?
Fine. Oh, yeah. Not everything's fine. I've just been going over the Civicus monitor tracking civic space. The map is not looking that good. We've got the open democracies are on a steep decline. The narrowed democracies are even worse, and the U.S. moved from narrowed to obstructed, just above repressed and closed. So yeah, not too excited reading, but anyways, we've got kala chana masala and some rice that I'll spice up.
Yum.
I think been several months out of India now. I think we can begin to start eating curry again. We had to take a minor pause there for a little bit. It was very intense. But I could have sworn I've made this before, or a variation of this before, or maybe I've just been saving it because it's kind of in the States anyway, it's one of the most popular vegetarian curry dishes, chana masala or chole. And these are special though. These aren't your average chickpeas. These are brown or black chickpeas, kala chana. So they are, I wouldn't recommend to make hummus with them, but you could. It'll be a very earthy, tree hugger feeling, good for your colon, kind of. Yeah, they're a bit rough around the edges, but they have an amazingly deep taste, nutty and earthy. So they're not, you don't achieve that kind of creaminess that you do with the regular larger light colored chickpeas. But the thing with these is that they take a goddamn long time to cook. So these were an hour and 10 minutes in the pressure cooker, and they're just done, and they're still firm, still a little powdery even. So they're even that's no soak. So these are so small that it's not recommended to soak them. But yeah, they take a long time to cook. But of course, you can just use canned if you can find them. These are really special, nice earthiness, and we're gonna grind some spices. We've got coriander. What that I'll take care of in my trusty wall drug, mortar and pestle. We got this at Goodwill over here somewhere. And what else we're gonna do? I haven't quite worked out all the spices, and I realized I ran out of garam masala. So we're basically, I don't have any fresh tomatoes because tomatoes are so goddamn expensive. They're going to start selling by the hecto kilo shortly. So we're gonna have a tomato-based sauce and tarten it up with tamarind syrup for the sourness. So it's gonna be like this tangy, nutty, tangy earthiness going on. And if you don't have a miniature jet engine to cook this thing on, don't have a gas burner, you can add roasted paprika to get a little smoky flavor to it, like it's been cooked on the grill. We've got our trusty asafoetida powder or hing for the little burst of umami and that quote unquote curry taste. And we'll add a little bit of haldi, harsh. What's the English name? Gurkemeie in Norwegian.
Turmeric.
Turmeric, yes.
Turmeric, yeah.
Yeah. And we've got garlic, onion, ginger. For the rice, I think, we'll probably add some methi also. For the
Crystal
rice, I'm gonna,
methi?
I forgot
Sorry.
the to boost the earthiness up the game, to add to the pseudo meaty flavor, there's black cardamom, not to be confused with green cardamom. This one
Okey-doke.
is this. It smells like a muskox, something along those lines. It's,
There we go.
very musky, but it's nice in these deep stews. And I've got, so in the rice, I'm going to put cinnamon, cardamom pods, and some cloves. For our
Nice.
sauce, it took, when I was cooking these in the pressure cooker, I added a nice looking onion, which is not so nice anymore, but it's thoroughly cooked, and I'll add this to the sauce to add a little bit of richness. And we've got all of the rest of our chickpeas here.
Wow.
I'll get to prepping, and then we're going to go outside. I was thinking it was going to be a torrential rain and snow and sleet, but we've only got gale force winds to deal with tonight. So half of our battle is won.
Oh my. Oh my. All right. Well, how should we begin?
Yeah. So, do you want to do some of your things, and we could do the?
No, we can start with your thing if that's.
Yeah.
If you could
got the PDF
do that
up there already.
I don't. I have.
If you go to the Discord, I linked out a Discord too.
Oh.
So the United States has released their 2025 security strategy document.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's more brazen than most years. I suppose you could say they're always kind of veiled threats to the rest of the world. Not so veiled anymore.
Let me read something that one of the authors, he's probably the main author, wrote in just before the first Trump term. 2016 is the Flight 93 election. Charge the cockpit or you die. You may die anyway. You or the leader of your party may make it into the cockpit and not know how to fly or land the plane, there are no guarantees, except one. If you don't try, death is certain. To compound the metaphor, a Hillary Clinton presidency is Russian roulette with a semi-auto. With Trump, at least you can spin the cylinder and take your chances. So that's the first. That's how that document leads off.
Well, the security document wasn't so cinematic, let's say. But
Indeed.
I was thinking what was particularly interesting to me in light of the rampaging in the United States' own hemisphere, the Venezuelan situation. We might want to look at Section A, the Western Hemisphere, and the quote corollary, the Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine.
Oh yeah, that
You could just read the first
it's
paragraph.
just annoying.
Yeah, you read the first paragraph and then jump down to page 17. It kind of articulates quite.
Well, I don't know. Shall we read it? After years
Sure.
of neglect, the United States will reassert and enforce the Monroe Doctrine to restore American preeminence in the Western Hemisphere and to protect our homeland and our access to key geographies throughout the region. We will deny non-hemispheric competitors the ability to position forces or other threatening capabilities. Gee, Cuba.
Pause. Non-hemispheric. That would be China.
Yes, that implies China, but the reality is it could be, it could be Russia,
Europe,
could be Britain, or to own or control strategically vital assets in our hemisphere. This quote unquote Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine is a common sense and potent restoration of American power and priorities consistent with American security interests. Our goals for the Western Hemisphere can be summarized as enlist and expand, not unlike repeal and whatever, replace.
And we will. If it's not clear, the our is singular, not inclusive plural. Our hemisphere.
Indeed. We will enlist established friends in the hemisphere to control migration, stop drug flows, and strengthen stability and security on land and sea. We will expand by cultivating and strengthening new partners while bolstering our own nation's appeal as the hemisphere's economic and security partner of choice. Now, that's the first part. You wanted to skip down to 17? What did you want on 17?
I think it was the first. Let me just double check here.
Strengthening critical supply chains in this hemisphere? Or the Western Hemisphere is home to many strategic resources?
No. Where to go?
The United States must be preeminent in the Western Hemisphere?
There we go.
Yeah. Some foreign influence will be hard to
in the Western Hemisphere.
Reverse. Yeah. Oh, and everywhere in the world. Yeah. This is on 18. The United States should make clear that American goods, services, and technologies are far better buy in the long run because they are higher quality and do not come with the same kinds of strings as other countries' assistance. That said, we will reform our own system to expedite approvals and licensing, again, to make ourselves the partner of first choice. The choice all countries should face is whether they want to live in an American-led world of sovereign countries and free economies, or in a parallel world, a parallel one, in which they are influenced by countries on the other side of the world. Well, it's America first.
And if you notice in the beginning of that paragraph, they said in the Western Hemisphere and the rest of the world, the United States is going to impose. But we can't have that here.
Yeah, it is an American first document. It's a it's an isolationist document in that sense. I don't believe the Trump corollary just simply applies to the current idiocy that he's trying to do. It's no different, actually. If you go back to the Roosevelt corollary, it's the same thing. It's just we establish our right to screw with anyone we want in our hemisphere.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see the Trump corollary become an actual thing. Even though they keep talking about it, but it's really the Roosevelt corollary ultimately in terms of dominating the hemisphere.
They go on, they go on to impress upon the ambassadors and other envoys in those countries in the hemisphere to work with the nations to basically weed out non-hemispheric influences and projects on offer. There are so many veiled threats. It's crazy.
Our hegemony is the best hegemony. It's just crap. It's just terrible. And as I said, it's written primarily by these really wacko guys who, you want to seize the cockpit, I guess, or something or other, and mixing metaphors with Russian roulette and Hillary Clinton. Pretty weird.
How do they define in this statement? How do they define, quote, the other part of the world?
Well, it's always the other part.
Non-hemispheric entities.
Yeah, the hemisphere.
They never name China. They never state.
They never name China or Russia or anything. I mean, it's almost implied that it's Europe in a weird way.
Well, it could be
that too. They include Europe in that.
It's mostly. I haven't gotten to the European one, but I started the Pacific and Asia. It seems like it's heavily focused on Asia as their main concern.
Oh, Asia is the new enemy,
and the withdrawal from Europe. Essentially, Europe should go it alone, or whatever kind of theory. Well, it's 30 pages of whatever. It probably should have had a section called shithole countries.
Definitely.
America, the United States should transition from an aid-focused relationship with Africa, et cetera, et cetera. So it's if you want to read it, it's there. It's on the White House, site.
It's worth a read, I think. Just in light of all of their actions, how to read their actions.
What I would find more interesting is if White House correspondents would quiz Trump on this document. I really want that to happen. I want that to happen in the worst way. Oh, well, on page blah, 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 the national security document says this. What do you think about this, President Trump? And that would be fun. As I said, it's essentially it's an imperialist document. Well,
and they'll never see the inside of a White House briefing room again if they do that.
Yeah, access journalism at work. As I said,
were they required to sign a waiver, like the journalists at the Pentagon? Quote, journalists.
A waiver for what? For
to have their stories cleared.
Oh, no, they haven't. They haven't done that. The Pentagon is the only one that's attempted to do that. And of course, only idiots would sign off on it, on doing that. And the ones they have there are really wacko outlets of one kind or another. A couple of blogs have offices in the Pentagon now, which is really insane.
Excuse me, wacko or America First? So I wasn't sure what you meant there.
Well, it is essentially America First. MAGA, I don't know. They're trying to, with the reinforcement, as Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing, is trying to create that space for post-Trump, idiocy. They really do want to cut MAGA out eventually, and in fact they have if MAGA can figure it out, that's what they did with the current thing, where everyone's health insurance is going to go up. But they haven't quite come there yet.
America First versus MAGA, and that is it different?
Yeah, like
there is a difference. Enough of America. Fuck yeah! It's back to the food for a second here. I've got rice to cook, so I'm a kind of a lazy person. I don't. If you have time, you don't have to soak it, but if you have time, just throw a cup or however many cups you're gonna cook. Level. This is white rice. Throw it in the pot, soak, drain this water. Use the same amount of water as to rice. Put that back in the pot. Yeah, let me go drain this for a second. Sorry, we don't have the swinging kitchen cam installed yet. Very rudimentary kitchen show. We're going to add some.
Yeah, your studio really needs help.
We've got cornet, chive. If you want, you can saute in butter or oil your spices, but it's not necessary. You can just throw in some fat, oil, butter, what have you. Add your water, bring it to a boil, and then turn it down to, on an induction stove, it's typically number 3, possibly 2, depends on how powerful your stove is. I can't remember standard electric, but low for 15 minutes. Heavy lid, don't lift the lid for 15 minutes at all. And then once it's done, turn it off, let it sit there. Oh, if you're a cheapskate, then you can't afford printer ink anymore, or vanilla beans, or saffron, you can use turmeric holiday to get the yellow, mimic the saffron color, but don't put printer ink in there though. That would be a bad idea.
Sure.
It's just the most, salt, forgot salt. Straightforward rice. And this will cook while we're preparing the stew. Back to you, man.
Oh man, I don't know. Trump seems to have lost it this past week. He's yammered about crazy stuff. The free admission for Martin Luther King Day at our national parks is gone. Trump's birthday is a free admission day at our national parks.
Yes.
So I suppose that's a good thing. Currently, as we've seen during this week, the important element was the contradiction between hijacking a Guyana-flagged oil tanker that has actually changed its name once. There's a whole backstory to this about whether under a different name and turned off its transponder, as most shadow fleet oil tankers have done, is that they've managed to get oil. They've tried to front end the description of this by saying, well, they supplied the Syrians before Assad got kicked out, and they've made up this huge story. The reality is they did hijack it. They've showed video where they, fast roped onto the deck and, came in full charge to seize the ship. I don't know where the ship is. I assume they put it somewhere. Whether they sailed it to Puerto Rico or some intermediate place is interesting, or whether they just anchored it somewhere. So we don't really know that. No one's reporting on that element of the thing we seized. And Trump said, when asked, what are you going to do with the oil? And Trump said, I guess we'll keep it. So it is piracy.
Wow.
it's very basic. It's very basic piracy. It's not simply we're doing a check on your Coast Guard check or whatever, even though they use the Coast Guard as sort of the front end to take the tanker and not show that the fact is, it's really the Navy, not the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard does have rules, and they're sort of following Coast Guard rules on the one hand. On the other hand, they're doing the same thing that you do in the Baltic, is you seize the ship for X number of reasons, and then you hold on to it, and then you either seize the cargo or whatever. So we're doing essentially what some of the Baltic states are doing to Russian shadow fleet stuff. So it's not that different on the one hand. On the other hand, the contrast is between, pardoning the ex-president of Honduras who's a drug kingpin, and that's indisputable. I mean, the guy, his brother is a big, drug guy, and Honduras is a stopping point for cartels. It goes up through if drugs are going somewhere through Honduras, they get transshipped to another cartel. There's like two separate cartels. The Sinaloa cartel has a branch supposedly in Honduras. So at least two cartels get their hands on the damn drugs before they get to America. The point, though, is that if you're going to claim that fentanyl is the evil, it's not coming from either Honduras or Venezuela. So there's all these contradictory elements, seizing a ship, claiming that's narco terror. It's not narco terror. It is going somewhere. It was going. They claim it was going to Cuba. They also claim that it's been a lot of interesting places. It's just weird. It's just weird. And
it was $73 million worth.
Oh, I don't know. It was 1.5 million barrels or whatever.
Not nothing, especially under sanctions.
Yeah. No, it 6 million. Well, I saw $6 million worth of oil. So whatever. And they said they're gonna stop another one. They haven't done it yet, but they're gonna stop some more, and it's just going to be terrible. What are they going to do with all these tankers that they've got? That's a whole nother story. What are they going to do with the crews? That's a whole nother story. And how do you address the fact that it was basically piracy? No different than, it's not in a defense zone. It's within the well, it depends how you define the limits, the security limits of a state. It was 30 miles or 70 miles off of Venezuela. So that's the other side of it. Now, whether it's going to stop anybody from doing anything, that's just a whole different set of questions. But, it's just, as they say, saber rattling. It is.
Professor Ann?
Yeah, John.
I just wanted to clarify that I think you're wrong on this because I have the definition.
Right.
I have the definition of piracy, and it is as follows. Piracy is an act of robbery.
John, could you read that in the proper accent?
Arr.
Yar, yar.
Arr. Piracy is an act of robbery or criminal violence by ship or boat-borne attackers upon another ship or coastal area, typically with the goal of stealing cargo and valuable goods or taking hostages, except when America does it. See?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Since the U.S. did it, it's not, not really piracy.
When we do it, it's not piracy.
Exactly. Well, I opined elsewhere that Trump will try and say it's privateering of some kind, which will be interesting as well.
But what's the actual motive? I'm so unsure. What was the motive for even doing it?
Oh no, it's to
the claim,
direct attention. Oh well, no. The claim is that it's oil for narco-terror to support narco-terror.
Oh, all right, I see.
Well,
but
apparently this oil was for Russia, but most of Venezuela's oil goes to China. So this could be a proxy war against China, basically.
Right. And the fact is, this, with all due respect, it's easier to hijack a ship in the Caribbean than it is to do it in the South China Sea, because in the South China Sea, all kinds of crazy crap could happen. You know, I mean, the Philippines has been ramming Chinese ships, and there a lot of stupid stuff has happened. We don't have the logistics to really do, you know, this same kind of piracy, even though other countries do piracy in that area, in the South China Sea. That's all. But it's a little tortured because, you know, it's not near China. So that messaging is screwed.
How's the lighting situation here?
Lighting looks good.
Yeah. Got 2 extra lights. Can't get too close. Melt the camera. There we go. Now I just need to get the rest of the ingredients. I'll be right back.
Well, there's still more that's going on this week. It is a week of barbarism. You know, they're open secrets that have existed for a while. Today, 95,000 pictures were released by the Epstein estate to the House Oversight Committee, and they showed like 19 photos today, which were, you know, redacted in various ways, and they wanted to show that Woody Allen had been there, or that Steve Bannon had been there, that the various unidentified women, some that do look rather young, or as far as we can tell, but they were there, and Garcia, who's the ranking member, said that there are some very disturbing photos in the tranche of 95,000 images. Now, the point of doing it now is to front end the fact that monkey business shenanigans may occur, because next week the Justice Department is supposed to release the Epstein files. Now, whether they do or not is a whole nother question, considering that they're just sandbagging, you know, people on, oh, well, we're going to show, you know, the whole point of doing this this hijacking was to take attention away from the fact that they've been sandbagging the press on the so-called second strike video, which shows 2 guys hanging onto a boat and then getting blown to bits. Now, you can probably find a lot of that just generally on the internet, but it's this specific piece of video that is being held hostage. So this whole hijacking thing was meant to sort of draw attention away from that as well. So it's just incompetence. I mean, the realities are much different, you know. Releasing the Honduras ex-president is not so much about that he was being treated badly or that it was a Biden setup. The reality is that, you know, the people, there are several tech bros who want the little island off of the west side, the Pacific side of Honduras, Prospero, as their own little, you know, private island. And so because for a variety of reasons, including that gene therapy can't be done in the United States without a lot of, you know, regulation and sort of this unregulated libertarian, you know, whatever, health spa. And so there's that. That's part of the background against which Honduras, because it's called, you know, it's special economic zone, or so, there's economic zone thing. So trying to make nice with the ex-president of Honduras, and lest you think that that was unimportant, Trump posts some support, and it's unclear who's won the election, although it's pretty clear that it didn't go quite the way that Trump wanted it to go. But stuff has happened, and it was about interfering in Honduras's election. It's releasing into the wild after he's on a 42-year sentence for drugs, 400 tons of cocaine. He's going to be saddled with this idea of 400 tons of cocaine, which is certainly a lot. And our attention has been drawn away from a variety of other things like killing people in boats. So that's the mess.
I'm sure the Democrats will stand up to this outrage. Chucky Schuh, he's certainly not in favor of regime changes.
Regime change.
Oh man.
He couldn't say it. He couldn't say he was against regime change.
Who did? Who couldn't?
Chucky Schumer.
Oh God,
was asked. Yeah, he wouldn't agree. He just said, instead of answering the question, he said, "Trump speaks and you don't understand what he's saying." And they just played a clip before it to him, which is basically saying, we're going to bomb the shit out of you. Like,
yeah,
no difference.
It's really quite messy. I mean, other craziness has occurred even domestically. The strike three, or the second consecutive week for a grand jury not advancing an indictment of Letitia James for mortgage fraud, because there's just nothing. There's no there. And even though they've managed to get a prosecutor from Virginia, and the real estate lawyer they tried to put in as a prosecutor is not going to work. But there's a whole bunch of procedural things that are sort of in the way. But they did it so badly that it does, but yet it hasn't been declared a vindictive prosecution. So there's that this week. The side story is that Trump is probably guilty of the same problem that Letitia James is responsible for, in terms of what place do you declare as your primary residence on your mortgage.
Yes, there was an article and an interview with the person who was able to find that, and it was a house right next to Mar-a-Lago that he also has a mortgage on, or had a mortgage on, that was also, tagged as whatever, listed as a prime residence. So he's done the same damn thing he's accusing others of doing.
Yep, more contradictions. And then, of course, there's
I keep forgetting things, so we got plenty of time.
Okay. The overarching story, of course, is whether Trump has Alzheimer's or something, because they've now begun to. The outside characters have now figured out that it's one of two or three Alzheimer's drugs that are responsible for the bruising on his hand. That it has to be he has to be intravenously fed by it, and they're taking all these, and the fact that they had to give him another cognition test, they're really trying to check on this. So something's happening, and it's not very good, I think, in terms of his health. But, Reagan was able to do quite a number of things and still not be, cognitive. Nancy was essentially running the government, not unlike, Woodrow Wilson's wife. Yeah. unfortunately, there are precedents for it in that way. And of course, we had FDR, et cetera. So all of those things are at work. Yeah. But it is this issue of misleading the press, which Roosevelt did, Eisenhower did, and Reagan did as well in terms of winning elections. So there's that. And then there's all the baffle gap, the disinformation, the fog, all that stuff is running around. It's everywhere. He's still blaming the auto pen. This auto pen, the rogue auto pen, is doing something. I don't know where it's hiding, but it seems to be doing all kinds of crap. And so there's some weirdness going on at that. Expect diverting information. Expect disinformation. There's just more of it. Whether it's going to be nailing another tanker, and on the Ukrainian side, the Ukrainians are using little sea drones on tankers. So there's all kinds of other stuff going on relative to shadow tankers. So they sent out sea drones and damaged probably the rudder of a tanker in the Caspian Sea, a Russian tanker in the Caspian Sea. So stuff's happening with the shadow fleet. Anyway, so we should keep that. I mean, pro tip. You should, the rich are getting richer. You should keep any oil that you hijack, and you should buy fewer pencils. You don't need 37 pencils. You don't need 37 dolls. I don't know. It's about austerity, and Trump mentioned some of this craziness during probably the most recent, and after probably not doing very much, a rally at a casino. I mean, how can they do these optics where they decide, oh, well, let's have Trump do a little rally for what was, I think, a 1,000 or a couple thousand people, but have it at a casino in Pennsylvania. It's got a lot of complicated optics there. Needless to say, the casino probably made a little cash on the side, but you kind of wonder why that's happening the way it is. So the grift continues. Let's see. Citizenship is at risk again. The attempt to kill birth citizenship against the whole, Abrego Garcia got. I think he's been released. They claimed he was released today. They announced it last night, and the issue is, and they haven't given up. This is not unlike other kinds of prosecutions that like the Tish James thing. They're still trying to deport Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And in some ways, he doesn't mind being deported, just he doesn't want to be deported to Africa. He did want to be deported to Costa Rica, which would probably have been fine. The reality is, I think he could still be deported. The issue is they spent an entire year moving him around with, playing this massive shell game with the Constitution, essentially. And so there's that.
The latest news on that is that some judge has put in an order that the federal agents are not to deport him. So there's a no deportation order, but whether they
whether they follow it or not. They're not following anything, because every day we have stories where
it sounds good on paper. Let me just put it that way.
Citizens are getting grabbed and taken places. People who probably shouldn't be grabbed, but because they're dreamers, they came here with the age of 7 or something, they're still being grabbed and deported. So it is this weird intimidation thing that's going on. I think today or yesterday they grabbed a Somali American. He's a citizen. They grabbed him in Minneapolis, and it's a little cold in Minneapolis right now. So what they did was they grabbed him, messed with him, and just sort of, harassed him. And then they took him 7 miles out of town or something and let him walk back. Right. So it's just like it's poor man's torture. It's just insane. And so other people are doing all this stuff. It's just craziness that it doesn't go to even the issues of how reckless it is in terms of the Constitution, but they're still trying to do it. So that's happening, against which all of this other stuff. And on top of that, if you got $1 million, you can become a citizen. You can get a Trump gold card. So for $1 million, you can get a American citizenship. On the other hand, if you don't have the $1 million, you're out of luck. Or if you're a South African, but and because they're South Africans white South Africans are classed as refugees for some reason, even though
white genocide, Professor Ann. Believe that's
70.
Right, baby.
They make up only 7% of the population, but they own 72% of private farmland. So when you actually look at numbers, it's not really working out. And a very small number of South Africans have decided that they would become refugees and come to the United States under this program. So there's that. Let's see.
Even the ones that aren't farmers.
Well, yeah. It's just
farming optional.
The new Real ID regulations have kicked in. So if you don't have a quote unquote real ID or its equivalent, like a passport, you're not going to get on your airplane if you've decided to go somewhere. So there's that. And let's see. Oh, yes. Today, 5 years of social media you have to give up. And this is just a threat because it's really hard to expedite and to actually do the thing. But if you're coming to this country and you want a visa, you have to cough up 5 years of your emails and your correspondence and other kinds of stuff, which is all wonderful because we're doing the World Cup, so nobody's going to come to this country. It is shooting oneself in the foot to, on the one hand, do all this craziness relative to the World Cup, including stupidity, like saying, well, maybe American football should not be called American football or whatever. I have no idea what, there's no solution to it. Are they going to call it rugby? No, it's not rugby. It's, well,
our
football is football.
The ball back and forth games.
It's been a busy week. Let's just put it that way. It's been a busy week for this kind of craziness. We're on to, with all due respect, scheduling time. And
already. Geez, I better get a move on then. I just finished up with the tamarind sauce, so the tamarind will give it a nice.
Hey, we could just call our football soccer. How about that?
There we go.
Yeah,
we are in such a bad way on these things. I have no idea. Trump thinks he's an entertainer, and so
he is an entertainer.
But it's not very entertaining. This is the same problem with Rush Limbaugh. It's not very entertaining.
It's entertaining for asshole idiots and say racist.
I'm sorry. It's entertaining for a third of the country. So that's plenty. That's better. He gets better ratings than all the other networks combined. So he is entertaining. The problem is if he were just an entertainer, that would be great. I mean, he really should just have a show on. He should just have a
talk show.
No, he should have
that's
a
what he's doing.
HGTV construction show.
Yeah, there we go.
Don the Builder, and he'd be so happy. Tonight on Don the Builder.
He's doing great with the White House.
Yep. People love it.
Got names on everything now.
It's why he sits behind the Resolute desk like that and always has people sort of stand next to him as if he were in a court. It's just, it's so weird that he tries to do his little talk with the press, and it's a style on the one hand. On the other hand, it's a joke relative to the presidency. So that's what's going on. Let's see. Well, let's talk about the schedule, because Poker Face, I think, is on tonight. But before that, John, you want to talk about Night Gallery?
Oh, hell yes.
At 8:30
What's the language?
Eastern.
Family show here.
Tonight on Night Gallery, we have a segment called A Feast of Blood. I would say this is not for the squeamish.
Oh man.
Sounds like a Hammer film.
It stars Sandra Locke. Norman Lloyd.
Wow.
Hermione, is that how you say that name?
Hermione
Baddeley. And should be interesting. And it's based on a story by Dulcie Gray, who I'll tell you a little bit about. She was a actor and writer and something else that you may not know. She is a lepidopterist.
Lepidopterist, yes.
Lepidopterist, yes.
Yes.
Not after.
Oh man. But afterwards, I guess we're going to do Poker Face. I don't know if Travis is here to tell us about it, but we have another episode of Poker Face, I think, tonight. I haven't yet figured out why they got their season got cut, or their series ended, or maybe it's just going to go over to another channel or whatever, another platform, streaming service. So there's that. That's after Night Gallery. Saturday, and we can thank Travis, we're going to get to watch One Battle After Another, which has gotten really good reviews and has a really all-star cast. So we have that at 7 p.m. on Saturday, aside from bringing music at all. So there's that on Saturday. And on Sunday, Star Trek, The Next Generation. John, do you want to talk about that episode?
Yes, indeed. It is a good one. It is called The Defector, and it involves a story wherein a Romulan crosses the line and defects to the Federation.
Traitor!
Yes.
How could he?
Quite good.
It's actually well written. It's actually quite good. It's well acted as well. So it's a good episode in that sense. It has tension, drama, irony, all those things. It's got all that stuff. And then after that, I don't know if Lane's here. Is Lane going to play some music afterwards? Did he mention what he was going to do? I mean, he's done. He did Steve Cropper and Stax Volt this past week, because Steve Cropper passed away.
Who died this week?
Yeah, who does this week? Who do we what musician do we commemorate this week? So there's that. That will happen after the 5 o'clock presentation on Star Trek Next Generation. We've gone to it. Nice. I'm hungry
have
again.
A random distribution of spices, so they've enhanced the flavor, and they float to the top. So you just pick them out, and then or leave them for decoration, but usually pick them out.
Can I promote Monday night?
Please do. I was going to mention Monday and Tuesday.
Cool. Yeah, most people here were here last week, but there's a few people that were not on Monday night for the last 2 weeks, and I have been reading from Palo Alto, A History of California, Capitalism, and the World. It's been some good conversation, and people seem to be interested in it. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Mondays.
Yes, it's been reading from the book, and so it's really quite interesting and exciting. And for some of us who've grown up in California, we forget about we're required in California to learn the history of California, and I think we do it badly. So, so there's that. And on Tuesday, the Red Hour. I don't know if Bruce is here. I don't think Bruce is here.
Yeah, no, I'm here.
Oh, Bruce, you want to talk about
the Red Hour? We're going to actually start an hour earlier on Tuesday.
All right.
It'll be 6 o'clock Eastern. And we're going to read Richard Matheson's script for Duel. And then we're going to play, Susanna's going to play the Steven Spielberg direct-to-TV episode, or a made-for-TV movie called Duel.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yes.
I'm looking forward. That's fun. I can't recall. I'm going to do my little thing at 6 o'clock office hours on Wednesday. I'm not sure what we've planned for Thursday, but we pretty much we do something every day. So all that's good stuff.
I'll be doing my photo journey log.
Oh, yes.
On Monday.
On Monday?
Either at 6 or after 8. So people show up, I'll do it at 6.
All right. That looks good.
Almost there.
Joe. I like those metal plates. I mean, and Americans, unfortunately, we've grown up with Swanson's TV dinners and metal plates, or else if you've been incarcerated, metal plates, or
we've got some homemade pickles here. We got pickled carrots and broccoli hearts.
Yum.
Don't throw away your broccoli hearts.
It's all good. All good stuff.
Don't throw away your broccoli hearts, but they do lead to broccoli farts. Just to let you know.
Oh, man. Well, we have a full week coming up. Lots of things, one thing at least every night, and that's good. I hope ultimately we get to 2 or 3 things every day / night, but whatever. Are we done, Joe?
Oh,
looks like you have an empty spot there. You still have an empty spot there. Yeah.
There we go. Onions. Got an empty spot for our cucumber.
Yum.
What the hell happened?
I'll let chana masala with clove and cardamom rice.
Yum. Yum, yum, yum. Oh, how nice. That should last a couple of days.
Indeed.
It's wobbling around there.
Sorry.
No,
nauseous.
I like them wobbling. I like they're wobbling around. Well, we've hit the top of the hour. In 30 minutes, Night Gallery, and after that, Poker Face, and that will be a good evening. We'll try and do better next week. We really will try. So see y'all later, folks.
Later, y'all.
So why was there no exit? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I just, Joe, I can't see your food is not highlighted for some reason.
There it is.
There. Oh, okay, cool.